Hello and welcome back to the Dougie Critchley Football YouTube channel, where today, guys, I'm looking at the 10 biggest upgrades in football this season. Let's get into it. A footballing legend joining his boyhood club in his twilight years, coming off the back of their worst season in a decade and putting them into title contention after just 6 games, the story of Milan and Modric this season is a beautiful one. The Rossoneri underwent massive changes in the summer. 22 players that featured for the club in the league in 24-25 left the club, ranging from the painful exits of the likes of Teijani, Reijnders and Theo Hernandez to players they couldn't wait to get rid of like Emerson Royal and João Felix. Yunus Musah didn't really fit into either category, but after the arrivals of Shaqiri, Rishi, Rabiot and Modric, he wasn't really needed, so the 22-year-old American was sent out on loan to Atalanta. Having had his minutes managed by Ancelotti in his final season in Madrid, starting just 17 league games in which he managed to still contribute 2 goals and 6 assists, some people expected Luka Modric to play more of a bit part role at Milan this campaign. How wrong they were. Only Matteo Gabbia has played more than his 515 league minutes to date, and he's been absolutely immense. He ranks first in Serie A for passes completed, joint 8th for chances created, 3rd for passes into the final third, 2nd for progressive passes, and 1st for switches of play. He's not merely spraying passes and dictating play though, he's chipping in defensively. He ranks 3rd in Serie A for interceptions, helping Milan concede just 4.6 XG against in the opening 6 games. A figure bettered only by Bayern Munich, Arsenal and Inter Milan in Europe's top 5 leagues. Although he won 6 Champions Leagues and the 2022 Ballon D'Or whilst representing Real Madrid, his work across his time with Croatia, where he won 190 caps, took them to the World Cup final and a 3rd place in 2022, suggests he can really thrive with an underdog too. If he manages to lead Allegri's Milan from 8th to the Scudetto, it will go down as one of the most impressive achievements of his glittering 21-year career. Stop right there, guys. Are you enjoying this video? If you are, why don't you like it? Why don't you leave a comment? Why don't you subscribe to the channel too? On with the video. Wojciech Szczęsny deserves massive respect for his work in 24-25. After Marc-Andre ter Stegen ruptured his patella in August 2025, Szczęsny came out of retirement to make 30 appearances for Barcelona last term. He played a crucial role in some challenging moments. He kept 8 clean sheets in 15 La Liga games, made 5 saves helping Barcelona win the Copa del Rey final against Real Madrid, and really stepped up in the last 16 of the Champions League against Benfica, helping Barcelona secure a domestic treble and reach the Champions League semi-finals. Although that earned him a contract extension until 2027 when Joan Garcia was signed from city rivals Espanyol this summer, it was clear who was going to be number 1. And prior to tearing his meniscus, which is going to keep him out until mid-November, the 24-year-old showed just why Hansi Flick was so keen to activate his €25 million release clause. 3 clean sheets in 6 games, a save percentage of 83%, 7th in Europe, whilst preventing 2 XG, it's easy to see why Szczęsny called him one of the best goalkeepers in Europe back in May. It's not just his shot stopping and cross-claiming ability, but his distribution too. He's got a 50% completion rate on passes over 40 yards, 2nd of 106 goalkeepers to feature in Europe's top 5 leagues to date. Imperative for a Hansi Flick Barcelona side that play a little bit more direct and look to bypass the press on occasion. The injury is a massive blow, but with 6 years left on his contract, he's got plenty of time to write his name in Barcelona's rich history. Leroy Sane was by no means a disaster at Bayern Munich. Signed for an initial €45 million in July 2020, he scored at least 10 goals in all of his 5 seasons, helping his side to 4 titles. But a consistent across seasons, months or even games, Sane was not. Although he could often thrill with a magnificent piece of individual skill, he often acted more as a soloist than a team player, and could go on barren, extended runs of form in front of goal. Although he's only 10 games into his Bundesliga career, Luis Diaz has been a different story entirely. Although many people, myself included, question that €75 million fee given he'll be 29 in January, Vincent Kompany has benefited from having a ready-made star enter his team rather than a project player. 6 goals and 4 assists in just 9 games, Diaz has been absolutely outstanding, with his tireless work rate and line-stretching ability creating loads of space for Harry Kane to produce his best form of his career to date. His shots per 90 have leapt from 2.7 to 3.6, the highest since his final 6 months in Porto, which saw him score 14 goals in the first half of 21-22, prior to his move to Merseyside. Whilst only Conrad Lima has created more chances, in Vincent Kompany's squad. The full array of his skills were on show against Eintracht Frankfurt last weekend, who came into this game as the second top scorers in the Bundesliga. Diaz finished the game with 2 goals and 1 assist to his name, including a strike after just 15 seconds, opening up a 4-point lead at the top of the Bundesliga in what looks like an absolute procession for Vincent Kompany's side. Sergio Aguero, Erling Haaland, Fernando Torres, there are countless examples of players that have come into the Premier League and looked instantly at home. And I think we can add Martin Zubimendi to that list. Across the first 7 match weeks of the season, there are only 8 players in the Premier League that have completed more short passes, whilst only 7 midfielders can top his 89% pass completion rate. But he's not just playing simple passes either. He played a crucial role in both of Arsenal's goals versus West Ham, a game in which he completed 72 passes in 60 minutes, whilst also making 5 tackles and 3 clearances. Some of the quality shown, whether that was his 2 goals against Forest, including that sweetly struck volley, that chip pass to Timber against Newcastle, or the fact that he's completing 62% of his tackles and winning 59% of his aerial duels, Zubimendi already looks like one of the signings of the season. Benched against West Ham after playing at least 82 minutes in 5 games in 18 days, you could see the key differences between 24-25 Arsenal and 25-26 Arsenal by the teammates alongside him. He was joined on the touchline by the likes of Martinelli, Marino, Norgard, Luis Skelly, Nwaneri, Mosquera, White, etc. And when Odegaard was forced off with an injury, something that would have absolutely sent them into an absolute tailspin last year, there was no need to panic. Jorginho performed a role for Arsenal over the last 2.5 seasons, but last season he was only trusted with a little over 700 league minutes. Unsurprising for a player that has been chased by Liverpool and Real Madrid in recent years, Zubimendi has been a massive upgrade. Say what you like about Brennan Johnson, the guy scores goals. He may not be the most silky, the most electric, the most free-flowing footballer to watch, but 18 goals in all competitions for Spurs last season, the most in their squad, including that scruffy winner in the Europa League final, he definitely has a use. But in terms of an all-round footballer, the sort of entertainer that you can't wait to watch when you wake up on the morning of a game, few come close to Mohammed Kudus. Signed on a 6-year contract for £55 million from West Ham, Mohammed Kudus has wasted little time establishing himself in North London. Frank has rotated his forward line, but Kudus has been an ever-present, starting all 7 league games to date. And he's rewarded Frank with 1 goal and 4 assists, with Haaland and Semenyo the only Premier League players to be directly involved in more goals to date. A brace of assists on his Premier League debut for Spurs, and a goal and assist in a gritty 2-1 win at Ellen Road, Kudus has been absolutely central to Thomas Frank's side, picking up 14 points to date, just 2 fewer than leaders Arsenal. Bruno Fernandes, Grealish and Gakpo are the only Premier League players to create more than his 13 chances to date, whilst no player in Europe has completed more than his 30 dribbles. 3 more than Kylian Mbappe. Having drifted significantly during West Ham's disappointing 24-25, it's been thrilling to see the bustling ball of energy that is Mo Kudus back to his best this campaign. The Premier League's 14th most expensive summer signing, I'm struggling to think of any that have provided better value for money so far. Although Spurs haven't necessarily ripped it up to date with their 11 shots per game ranking 13th in the Premier League, the prospect of Kudus linking up with Kulusevski when he returns is a tantalising one. Having signed established superstars like Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe and Trent Alexander-Arnold in 3 consecutive summers, it's perhaps no surprise that Alvaro Carreras' €50 million fee this summer went somewhat under the radar. The left-back was signed by Man United from Real Madrid in 2020 despite interest from Man City and Barcelona, but never made a first-team appearance for the Red Devils, instead being sent out on loan to Preston, Granada and Benfica. Bought by Benfica 5 months after joining them on loan in May 2024 for €6 million, he was a key cog in Bruno Lage's 24-25 Benfica side, ranking 5th in the Primera Liga for passes into the final third and 3rd for progressive passes. And he's transferred that composure and ability on the ball to his new rarefied surroundings. No outfield player has played more league minutes than him to date. He's completed the most passes in the squad, ranks 8th in Europe for passes into the final third and 4th for progressive passes received. This has helped get Real Madrid's devastating set of forwards consistently into dangerous areas, with their shots per game leaping from 16.7 last season to 18.6, with Barcelona the only side in Europe to top their 17.6 XG created. As his poor display in that 5-2 mauling at the hands of Atletico Madrid showed, he's far from the finished article. but the signs are very, very promising. Let's face it, 24-25 Ilkay Gundogan was not the Gundogan we're used to. Returning to Manchester after a season at Barcelona in which he contributed 14 league goals, a figure topped only by Lewandowski and Rafinha, he looked well short of his best. Still trusted to start 25 league games in a Rodri-less Man City midfield, where Kevin De Bruyne also missed a number of games and Phil Foden experienced a serious downturn in form, Pep Guardiola turned to Kovacic, Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan for impetus, but eventually decides to fork out €50 million to sign Nico Gonzalez in January. The summer departures of Gundogan and De Bruyne this summer mean that 14 of Man City's 23-man squad for the 2023 Champions League final have now left the club. A key part of their rebuild will without doubt be Teijani Reijnders, who was signed after 10 goals and 4 assists for a poor Milan side in 24-25, saw him named Serie A Midfielder of the Year. So far so good in the Northwest. He got a goal and assist on his Premier League debut. He's also provided assists against Napoli and Arsenal, showing that he's got the technical ability and physical capacity to thrive in the Premier League. Only Haaland has taken more shots in the City squad. He ranks second for passes completed and first for passes into the final third and progressive passes, whilst Doku and Bob are the only players to complete more than his 11 dribbles, showing the all-round game that made him such a hit in Italy. Man City have been far from thrilling, and the sooner they can get back Ryan Cherki the better, but there's no doubt in my mind Teijani Reijnders is a serious upgrade on 24-25 Ilkay Gundogan. It's been an extraordinary last few seasons for Jonathan Rowe. His 12 goals in 34 games in 23-24 for Norwich earned him a loan move to Marseille, and although Roberto De Zerbi used him mainly off the bench, he did still contribute 6 league goals in 24-25. Including a 95th minute winner against Lyon. That form earned him a call-up to Lee Carsley's under-21 England squad for the Euros in the summer, and 2 goals followed, including a 92nd minute winner to seal the title against Germany. Big things were expected of him this season, but following a 1-0 defeat to Rennes on the opening day, Rabiot and Jonathan Rowe engaged in a fight, something that De Zerbi said more akin to a bar fight. Both were transfer listed, and Jonathan Rowe is now at Bologna. Although Igor Paixão signed for Marseille from Feyenoord a few weeks earlier, the Jonathan Rowe situation certainly upped the ante on the 25-year-old Brazilian, but so far he has responded. He followed up a magnificent display against Feyenoord's rivals Ajax in the Champions League last week with 2 goals and 1 assist in that game, with another goal at the weekend against Metz, keeping Marseille just 1 point behind PSG at this early stage. With Aubameyang, Greenwood, Guiri, Paixão, Weah, Mopé at his disposal, De Zerbi certainly has options. But on the basis of the last couple of weeks, Paixão certainly won't be far from his thinking. The homegrown star that helped his club return to the Premier League after an 8-year absence, which included 9 different managers, 4 years in League One, and a Netflix show based on the club's ineptitude, Sunderland fans will forever be indebted to Anthony Patterson. After all, were it not for a spectacular save 72 seconds into the Championship playoff final against Sheffield United's Kiefer Moore, it might well be Sunderland sitting in 24th in the Championship rather than 9th in the Premier League at the time of recording. But a key reason why they are there right now have been the performances of Robin Roefs. Signed from Dutch side NEC this summer with just 1 year of top flight experience to his name, he's saved 79% of shots on target, 5th in the Premier League. Whilst Crystal Palace's Dean Henderson is the only player to prevent more than his 2.3 expected goals to date. 6'4", agile and excellent in the air, claiming 9.6% of crosses into his box this season, 4th in the Premier League, Robin Roefs has been, along with Granit Xhaka, the key cogs in Sunderland's magnificent start to the season. With 6 of their next 8 league games coming against sides ranked 8th or above, Roefs is certainly going to be tested, but if he maintains this form, Sunderland have more than a decent chance of staying up. 2 Premier League titles, a Portuguese treble and 48 Serbia caps, along with names like Man United, Chelsea, Lyon, Benfica and Roma on his CV, Nemanja Matic has had an exemplary career. But his departure from Lyon this summer to Sassuolo has paved the way for Legon to sign Liverpool's Tyler Morton, a move that has worked out spectacularly to date. The Merseyside-born midfielder, who was sent out on loan to Blackburn and Hull during his time at Liverpool, has been absolutely integral to date, starting 6 of 7 league games. Yes, there was that red card against Rennes, but his performances, particularly in the bigger games, have really stood out. He created 3 chances in their 1-0 win against Marseille and scored the winner against Lille too, whilst Tolisso and Tezman are the only Lyon players to complete more progressive passes, and he ranks 4th for tackles. Another member of England's successful under-21 Euro squad this summer, he's one of a number of English players like Greenwood, Maitland-Niles and Angel Gomez, currently thriving in Ligue 1. Currently 4th but just 1 point off leaders PSG, if he maintains this form there is a decent chance that Paulo Fonseca's side qualify for the Champions League for the first time since that infamous run to the semi-finals in 2019-20. So guys, that was my video of 10 of the biggest upgrades so far this season. What did you guys think of the list? Where did I go wrong? Where did I go right? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please do like it, leave a comment as well. I will get back to you, and subscribe to the channel for more great weekly European football content, and I'll catch you next time.